Now we will start motion. In motion, we will study about rest, motion, distance, displacement, all physical quantities. In simply way, we can describe a particle in two states. First is rest and second one is motion. Either a particle in rest position or in motion position. Now a person standing on a ground. At particular instant, let's say its x coordinate initially is 0. At x is equal to 0 when time equal to 0. X remain 0, time increase let's say after 1 second or 1 minute. X again 0 when t equal to 2. This equation shows the object is on rest because x coordinate, position coordinate is remain same but time increases. With time the object doesn't change its position. Then this is state called rest state. Further now we will study motion. Person at x equal to 0 and t equal to 0. Time increases, let's say t equal to 1, x become 2, x become 4 when t equal to 2. Now what say? The person change its state with time. A person moves, therefore this is called motion. If an object or a person change its state or position with time, then it's called in motion. Now motion can be classified in different ways. We will study further. Now we start fundamental things, distance and displacement. First we take distance. What we understand by distance? It is a physical quantity which tells that how much an object moves. The total path traveled by an object or net path covered or travel is known as a distance. Means the net actual path an object travel, this path, this distance, this length is called distance. The total path traveled by an object. Let's say we take an example. A person standing on a ground move 10 km point A to B. After it move B to C 5 km. Then after C to T it move 2 km. Now you have to say how much distance it travel according to definition. The distance is the net path travel. 10 km A to B, that is 10, B to C, that is 5, C to D, that is 2. That is total path travel is 17 km. This is called distance. Now second points which comes in distance, that distance is a scalar quantity. What we means with scalar quantity? The physical quantity which only require magnitude, doesn't require direction. All these quantities comes into scalar quantity. Then distance doesn't require direction, it only require magnitude. Here is only 10 km. I am not giving the direction, that is no direction, is direction, only 10. The distance between 2 points is 10 km. It doesn't require the direction, therefore distance is a scalar quantity. Third important, distance cannot be negative. It is always positive quantity. It cannot be negative. Now we take one more example. If say object move in a circular path of radius r, a person moving around a circular path of radius r. Now you have to calculate the distance traveled by an object in one complete revolution. Then point A, initial point, it move and come after again A. Then total distance is circumference of the circle, that is 2 pi r. net path travel on the object is total circumference. Therefore, the distance become 2 pi r. Now you have to find out the distance if we move from A to B. That total distance travel is semicircle. Half of the circumference of the circle, that is pi r. Again, if somebody asks the distance travel by an object from A to C, that is quarter circle, then again distance become pi r by 2. Now somebody asks you the distance travel by 3/4 circle, that means D, A to D, then the distance become now 3/4 of 2 pi by 2 pi r. Then we can calculate the distance. This is the meaning of distance. Now we comes on displacement. Displacement, the shortest distance between initial and final position, is called displacement, or we can say the distance travel in given direction. Now see, I have told the displacement is a distance travel in given direction. Direction means the physical quantity displacement contain magnitude and direction. Therefore, it is a vector quantity. Why? Because it have direction plus magnitude. Magnitude plus direction. Okay. So therefore it is a scalar quantity. And second definitions tell us shortest path between initial and final position. The shortest path. Now in these two definitions we take some examples for better understanding. A person standing on a ground move to a point A to B 10 km. The return on the same path B to C by 5 km. Now you have to tell displacement. I will denote displacement by this quantity. The symbol denote that is a vector quantity, total displacement. Now we go to the definition. Definition tells that shortest distance between initial and final position. Initial position, that is A. Final position, that is C, F. Shortest distance is this. This distance is the displacement. We have to calculate this much distance, and this much distance is equal to 5 km. But your answer is not completely right, because you have to tell the direction. Your displacement is a vector quantity. You have 5 km as a magnitude, but in which direction? I can say in I direction, X direction, or in east direction. You can say in east direction, or can say in I cap direction, or can say in X direction. You have to signify the direction. Okay. Now we take another example. Suppose a person move in a circular field or circular track of radius r. You have to find out after one revolution. After one revolution, you have to find out the displacement. Let's see. Again, we goes to our definition. The initial point is here I. After one revolution, it's come after again here. The final position is the same, and the shorter distance between initial and final position is 0. Therefore, the displacement is 0. Now another example, let's say a point move A to B, B to A. You have to find out the total displacement. The net total displacement is shortest distance between initial and final position. Now F is a final position. The shorter distance is R plus R. Then the displacement become R plus R. It is equal to 2R. Understand? Now another example, if somebody asks that a particle move in a circular track of radius r and it travel only quarter circle. A to B. Now you have to calculate displacement. How much the object displacement it moved A to B. Now we see that initial position is A and final position is B. The shortest distance between initial position and the final position is that. We have to calculate this distance A to B. Let's see. Just like this. There is A and that is the radius is R. You have calculated AB. Now according to Pythagoras theorem, AB distance equal to, that is a right angle triangle, so we can apply Pythagoras theorem says R square plus R square is equal to AB. Then I can say root 2R. The displacement comes out to 2R. The value of this, the length of this side is root 2R. Okay, and the direction is from A to B. Otherwise we can say is north, west. Now this is the displacement. Now there is a relation between distance and displacement. We can say ki distance always greater than equal to displacement. Why so? Because distance is always positive, displacement may be negative. When distance and displacement will be equal? When object move in a straight line, when object move in a given direction. Let's say an object start from A to B in a straight line, that is by 5 meter. In this situation, the magnitude of distance and magnitude of displacement, denote magnitude by this symbol, equal to 5 meter. And I can say displacement may be 0. How it is possible? Let's see, a object moves A to B by 5 and again move B to A by 5 meter. Then the total displacement is 0. Okay. Now we can say how can it displacement can be negative. Let's see. Let an example, object move in the direction of B by 5 meter and again move in the direction of T by 10 meter. Now I have to calculate the total displacement. According to definition, the shortest distance between initial and final position, that is the initial position, and D is the final position. The distance between initial and final position is this much, and that is 10 minus 5 equal to 5, and the direction is in opposite to A, therefore it is minus ka 5 meter. Then the displacement comes out negative, because if we take O0, then we say that D point is opposite to the A, therefore we introduce minus sign, because displacement contain a direction. The minus sign shows that is in opposite direction from the origin position, therefore displacement comes out negative. Now we move speed and velocity. Speed is a rate of change of distance with time, distance upon time. Now we say unit of speed, unit of distance is meter and time is second. The unit of speed is meter per second. Now we say velocity of the displacement upon time. Now you have to remember that speed we take distance and in velocity we take displacement upon time, and unit is same, meter per second. One thing, speed is a scalar quantity but velocity is a vector quantity. Why? Because velocity contains displacement. Displacement is a vector quantity, therefore we say velocity is a vector quantity. Speed contains distance and distance is a scalar quantity. Speed is a scalar quantity. Now we take some other, average speed and average velocity. Average speed is denoted by SAVG. this ABG show average and S show speed. Total distance traveled upon total time taken. Similarly, I can define average velocity, displacement upon. Now we say, let some example about average speed and average velocity. A object start point A, it move 10 km, and point B to point C, it move 5 km. In 10 km it take, let's say, 1 hour. In B to C, let's say this time it takes time 2 hours. Okay, now you have to calculate average speed and average velocity. Now we comes to the formula. The average speed is total distance. In an average velocity there is a total displacement. So we apply the formula. Let's see. S average. Now tell me what is the total distance. That is, total distance is a net path traveled by the object. 10 km plus 5, that is total path travel. The distance is 15, and total time taken is 1 plus 2, that is 3. Then average should become 5 km per hour. Is it clear? Now we have to calculate average velocity. AVG, average velocity. Velocity, we have to now first calculate total displacement. Displacement is the shortest distance between initial and final position. The initial position is A and final position is C. Then the total distance between initial and final position is 5 km, because 10 minus 5 comes out 5. Okay. And total time taken is what? 1 plus 2. Time taken is time we take always total. Total, how much time it object elapsed? That is 3. And 5 upon 3 km per hour is the average velocity. Second thing is, speed cannot be equal to, we can say speed cannot be equal to negative quantity. Speed cannot be negative, but velocity or average velocity can be negative quantity. How it is possible? We can take an example. And 0, positive, and it can be 0. Let's say a object travel A to B and it comes again, return its path B to A again. The velocity, or we can say average velocity, equal to total displacement is 0 and time is t. Then average velocity comes out 0. Then average velocity can be 0. Now we understand velocity, speed, distance, displacement. Now we take an important concept, uniform and non-uniform motion. Let's see. Uniform motion tell an object traveled equal distance in equal time interval. I say object start moving, a person start moving, in it travel 1 meter in time taken of 1 second. It again move to goes to 2 meter and it take time 2 seconds. It's come 3 meter in time 3 seconds. Okay, in equal distance, equal timetable. 1 to 2 there is a 1 meter and what time taken is 1 second. Again 2 to 3 meter it travel 1 meter and time taken 2 to 3 is 1 second. This equation shows the uniform motion. From this thing we can predict that speed. Speed is a distance upon time. Distance is 1, time is 1, the speed is 1. In second case, the distance travel is 2 meter and time taken is 2 seconds. Then again speed is 1. And in third case, distance travel is 3 meter and time taken is 3 seconds. Then speed is 1. There is whole journey. It takes equal time and equal distance. Therefore speed comes out same. So in uniform motion, its speeds remain constant. Equal distance travel in equal time travel. We can say 1 to 1 travel 1 meter and 1 to 2 second is 1 second. 1 upon 1, 1. The speed is 1. 2 to 3 it take how much distance? 1 meter and time is also 2 to 3 is 1 second. So speed always remain constant. From this we predict that in uniform motion we can plot a graph between distance and time. That is a distance and time. 0, 1, 2, 3 and distance is 1, 2, 3. At x equal to 1, t equal to 1. At x equal to 2, t equal to 2. At x equal to 3, t equal to 3. If we join these points, we have a straight line. This straight line shows that is a uniform motion. Why it is a uniform motion? Because speed is uniform or constant. In uniform motion, an object moves with a constant speed. The graph shows that straight line. Therefore, the slope of the graph, the angle theta, slope of the graph is always constant. Slope is always constant. Slope is constant and the slopes give the information about the speed of the object. So we can see the speed of the object is also constant. Let's see, slope is a, we can say, vertical height. The slope of any line is vertical height upon horizontal height at any instant. Let's say it is in this position. The slope vertical height is 2 and horizontal height is 2. Then 2 upon 2 equal to 1. The speed is, so with the help of graph we can calculate the speed of motion. This equation show this graph and the graph have a straight line. This straight line shows that the object has a constant speed because the slope of the graph is a constant and the slope of the graph is calculated by the vertical height upon horizontal height. At any instant, take this instant, vertical height is 1, horizontal height is 1, the speed is 1. In the whole journey the speed is constant, therefore this is called the uniform motion. Unequal distance in equal time interval. Let's see. Let's say object moving on a ground 1 meter in 1 second. Further it move, let's say 2 meter in other 1 second, and again it move, let's say 4 meter in 1 second. Now we say from the speed is distance 1 meter time 1 meter, that is 1. In second case, speed distance upon time is equal to 1 meter. And again in this case speed is 4 distance upon 1 second time, sorry, this is 2 and this is 4. The speed is changing, that is increasing. The speed is changed in the non-uniform motion. Speed is change. Speed does not remain constant in non-uniform motion. So we can plot a graph. If the speed is not constant, then the graph will not be constant, it change like this, a curve. The distance and time, the slope is not constant. The slope is not constant. So slope tell about speed. Speed is not in non-uniform motion. If somebody say an object at point A and point B, so we can say the speed is increasing. Why? Because slope is increasing and slope curve is increasing and slope is also increasing, and slope is the speed. So speed at B position always greater than speed at A. This is a non-uniform motion, non-uniform speed. Now in other lecture we will understand about acceleration and equations of motion. Thank you.